Hey everybody, so I'm back with another video. This might be the last one for the home internet unless something drastic happens or I get a request for something specific. I was asked in the beginning if I would do another update after about a month or so of using it. Also, I had a challenge to use 1 terabyte of data and to see if they slow me down, throttle me, everything like that. I have used the data, so according to my usage on my T-Mobile account, this is what it's telling me. If we go to the gateway, it's saying I've used 1.2 terabytes. This was, I would say, about a week and a half worth of usage, maybe up to 2 weeks. The first bit of my cycle, I only had a couple weeks with it because my cycle was the same as my my mobile plan. So I used about 400 gigabytes that time. It was $398. And then after the challenge, I shot to go with 1 terabyte within a week or so. I think it took me just a little over a week. Part of that was just finding things to download, deleting things to make room to download more. I definitely have to get some more hard drives. I am lacking in storage. I got a lot of videos for the YouTube and everything on my drives. But you can see I have used the 1.2. I have hit the challenge there. And ultimately, I'm not throttled down. Now, I did notice a couple times where my speed seemed to drop a little bit, like in the 30 and 40 megabyte range. Usually that's like in the middle of the day. I don't know how many people around me have the home internet. I know at least one neighbor does, just because a couple months before I was eligible to get it, one of my neighbors got it and it was delivered to my front door instead of theirs. So that's the only reason I know a neighbor has it besides me. I don't know of anybody else. What was funny though is that my next door neighbor was qualified 2 months before my address actually was qualified to get it. Kind of irritated me a little bit. But first off, let's go ahead and we'll jump into some speed tests. I did have a request from somebody to do one from fast.com because it is powered by Netflix and their servers and everything. I did it a little earlier. I got 70 out of it. The ping's a little higher, at least for that. I did a couple different tests. One time I had 30 in the middle of the day. I had 70 just a little bit ago. We'll go ahead and do a live one here real quick just to see what I'm getting at the moment. Looks like, a little bit slower. And it's just a little before 8 p.m. here. The ping's awfully a bit high. I know when it comes to Netflix, I haven't had any issues loading it. It loads just fine for me, no bufferings or anything. Let's see what the upload's going to give me here. So this is actually the slowest test that I've gotten with fast at 20. The slowest before was 30, and then I had a couple 70s, and then I think it was a 50. So 39 up is what it's giving me. And then we'll go ahead and we'll, Ookla. This is one of the most used speed test apps, or whatever you want to call it. We'll go ahead and see what it gives me here. And then, I also had a question when I did one of these speed tests before, is how often does your IP change? So my IP hasn't really changed that much, except for when I reset the gateway. Anytime I power it completely down and then power it back up, the IP does change. So if you ever want to change your IP, pretty easy, pretty simple. At least I noticed every single time mine changed. So I am getting a little bit faster speeds on Ookla right now, but that's probably been about my average for the past week. I've been averaging between 50 to 70, not quite as high. Some of the fastest speeds I did hit 109 last night. It was about midnight or so. That was the fastest I've ever gotten on the gateway, which is pretty incredible. But I'll still take 54. I mean, I've been getting a lot of new comments with a lot of people that are signing up after seeing my video. Different people that are getting some really good results and everything. All right, so one thing that I did notice on the website, though, when I was looking at the fine print, because I've had different comments from different people going back and forth between it does get throttled, it doesn't, everything else. So, I mean, they do say no data caps. I haven't reached a cap, that's for sure. They don't really talk about, at least not without the fine print, about any kind of prioritizations or anything like that. But if you click the full terms, it does say, clearly states right here, during congestion, home internet customers may notice speeds lower than other customers due to data prioritization. Now, it doesn't say the deprioritization like they do for the mobile, so I don't think it works exactly the same way. I think it would just be that, you know, if I have multiple neighbors that are using it, and it's going to give them the faster speeds at the time they're using it compared to me. That's at least what I'm getting from it, and that might be where I'm getting some of these slower speeds during the day now that I've used a lot of data. Because it was right after I hit about 800 gigabytes is when I started noticing some slowdowns. I mean, they haven't been huge, you know, slowing me down to between 30 and 50 compared to my normal 80 to 100. But you know, you keep that in mind. For some of you that are more rural, you probably won't even experience much of that just because there's going to be a lot less people out there getting the service, getting connected to it and everything. But it does state this right here. So those that have argued that, it's right here. Anyway, we'll go on to the next one. So I've had comments about, you know, telling people not to sign up because Hulu doesn't work, the YouTube TV doesn't work, and all that stuff. So I went out of my way to sign up for trials to do some testing, and I can pretty much bust that right now. So, you know, I got the Hulu website here right now. I did have a show going. You can clearly see I can access Hulu just fine. I accessed it on the TV and everything as well. There's no issues connecting to Hulu, so you don't need to worry about that. So far, I haven't ran into any streaming services that do not work. I'm going to go ahead and just close that for now. Now, I will be canceling these services just because I'm not going to pay for them, especially this YouTube TV, because $65 is ridiculous, in my opinion, especially when I have the T-Vision, and the T-Vision's a lot cheaper, and I haven't noticed anything extra on here that, you know, that I would watch compared to the other one. Now, I did install the app, and I had something going just for testing and stuff, but you can clearly see, you know, I got the YouTube TV app here, and it is working. Now that's kind of interesting, the YouTube TV, because I'm looking back over at my Streamlabs OBS, and I'm noticing that the video is not showing up on here, so the app itself must have something where it blocks it. Let's go ahead and just use the, you know, the TV.com one. I'll just choose something here. That was the first time I noticed that. I didn't test the recording before then, so they must have something that kind of blocks it. But you know, everything does load. Let's go ahead and let's just find something to watch here. Let's see if it picks it up. Well, that's weird. Yeah, they apparently have some kind of a block that blocks you from being able to stream it. That's kind of funny. You could probably hear it in the background, though. I can tell you it definitely does work. No issues whatsoever. I had a couple comments on the other video where a couple people actually chimed in and said their YouTube is working just fine. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this one. It looks like they blocked the recording, so whatever. I mean, I'm not planning on recording any other stuff anyway. I just signed up just to do the testing. But you know, other than that, let me grab my questions here. So a lot of my questions were, you know, the throttles, the caps. I did have some questions about how to disable the NAT. I can't tell you how to do that. I haven't figured it out. I've been messing with settings trying to do that, and I've had no luck. Now, if anybody out there does know how, if you can comment below and let us know how you can fix the NAT issue. I know I've been able to game. I haven't had an issue with it, but you know, some people have mentioned things with the double NAT and everything. With the double NAT, usually that's when you're using another router along with it. Now, like I mentioned before, this gateway does not go into bridge mode. That is one fallback with it when you're trying to connect another router. Hopefully they add a bridge mode into, you know, the next gateway that they release. I don't know if they will, but we'll see. But, you know, anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over with the video. I wanted to answer a couple of those questions, show you my latest results of, you know, the data usage I've used, and kind of bust a myth that YouTube TV and Hulu does not work, because it clearly does, and several other people have commented as well that it works. Now, if you do come across something that definitely doesn't work, let me know. I will try it out myself and give it a test. But, you know, anyway, you know, thank you for all the support. Thank you for stopping by. Subscribe, like, comment below.